We're waiting for stop video. Greetings, greetings. Greetings, Kombucha. Say something so I can hear you. You got to get your audio going. Work on that audio. You had the video for a minute. Kombucha, how's your audio? Right now, we'll stop the video until we got more Kombucha Klark happening here. Kombucha has left the building. We're going to do one with Kombucha, and let's try one more time. All right, he's connecting to audio and cannot. All right, let's hear you talk. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Brother, yes, I can. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Awesome.
And we are live. I'm broadcasting to you live from the Magic Forest here in Boulder.
Nice.
So
is it nice fresh air out there?
Oh, it's lovely here. Yeah, very nice here.
Good, good.
And it's great to be back after being at retreat for the last 5 days, 6 days. And that energy has been building ever since. We're not sitting on it. We're telling the world.
Tell me a little bit about that. How was the retreat?
Well, the retreat had 13 people coming from across the United States. Some came from California, some came from Kansas, some came from Idaho, some came from Washington State, and some came from Oregon. And they found a way to open up their life. However they pulled it off, they got there. And we did processes for personal and group processes and breathing. And we did a lot of urine therapy protocols.
Nice.
Including something I've never done before is get a kiddie pool and fill it with 2-year-old Oren and have 5 people foot soaking together.
Epic.
It was wonderful. So let me hold this camera the right way here. So Kombucha, I hear you went through a fast. Have you completed it yet?
I'm still on it. I'm about 72 hours into it, maybe a little bit past that now. And yeah, I've been, I just felt like I wanted a bit of a reset. Mm-hmm. You know, my typical protocol is just 1 solid meal a day. I drink pretty much all of my own urine. The rest of it, I'm doing enemas and neti pots and foot soaks and putting on my skin and in my eyes and in my ears. And I let myself sneak up. I spent some time with some family, and I let myself sneak up to 2 meals a day because everyone was eating a lot more than me. And then when I left that environment, what was the question?
Yeah, how was your willpower and your discipline when all that was going on?
Well, it was still, I mean, my diet was the same. I'm raw vegan. I wasn't eating what they were eating. I was having my own salads, and you know, mm-hmm. I would just snack on some hummus and you know, lettuce or cucumbers or whatever. And
they look good.
Thank you, appreciate that. But so I let myself sneak up to 2 meals a day, and then like when I left that environment for like the following week, I was still, because the body gets used to eating on a schedule. So I still wanted that snack in the morning as well as my dinner. And so, and then, but I've been so light for so long. I've been on one meal a day for at least 5 years now. So
it wasn't that big of a stretch.
No. So being so light for so long now, it just started feeling the bogged downness, the slightly lower energy of eating more, and being kind of pulled into the more of the material world, and things just feel more dense. And I've learned through fasting and through plant medicines that we aren't living in a solid reality. None of this is solid. Everything is just vibrations of energy, and it's all just held together by thought. So it's so to
That's
feel
true.
So to feel that density and to kind of be pulled out of what I like to call the magical reality that we are really in, and where life can be easy. Things can just be easy, and we can just think things and they can come to us, and we don't have to strive so hard. And so when I feel like I'm like have to like try so hard in life, and I'm like trying to make my business work, and it's just like I'm doing all these phone calls and doing all this stuff, and things aren't just flowing the way I feel like they should. Like that's when I'm like, God, I'm feeling like I'm being pulled back into this solid reality that we're sold. And so that's when I'm like, that's when I feel most called to do fasting. And through
that brings me up a question.
Yes.
I have questions for you during our talk today. Number one, why, what, and how how I'm going to categorize these questions. What inspired you to do this fast, and why did you choose Oren?
Okay, so again, I've been feeling a little more bogged down. I feel that things just aren't manifesting as quickly as I'm used to, and I feel like I'm I just kind of feel like I'm more in the heavier, denser reality, and so that's how I felt this past like week. And so I realize that when the more I fast, the more I get into the more of the magical reality.
We'll go back to the bogged down. You felt bogged down and maybe slower than normal.
A little tired. I normally sleep about 6 hours a night, but I was sleeping more like 8 hours a night. And so that was like,
that was noticeable.
Yeah, definitely. That's 2 hours. That's 2 hours a day. I mean, that's a lot of time when having this.
Were you having either signs of pain, discomfort, or constipation?
No.
Okay, so that wasn't it. All right. So did you have some emotions that came up for you during the fast?
During the fast?
Yes, you're still in it. You're still in it.
I've been keeping so busy. I find because I start thinking about food as soon as I get home from work.
That's what does it. Okay.
Yeah. So I keep a to-do list. I just keep I keep my days just full. I just keep my days full of activities to do.
It looks like it.
Yeah.
It looks like it.
So I'm just constantly doing stuff, and that's how I keep busy. So no, I have not had emotions come up that would be beneficial. I know the most beneficial way to fast is to, be more in like an environment and where I'm not working, and I can just
focus on your body and your process and do the breath work.
Right. Yes.
Right. So during these 3 or 4 days,
but I still do meditate 2 hours a day, but that's just the daily protocol for the past 6 years. So
right. So it's built into your lifestyle. During the 4 days, now being a massage therapist yourself, have you gotten any body work or Reiki or reflexology or energy work from anybody?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, my first day into the urine, I did a liquid day, my first day, and then I started doing urine 3 days ago. And then so when my first day on the urine, I had one of my favorite massage therapists come over, give me a 2-hour session. She used the hot stones, the hot towels, the cupping, everything. It was absolutely epic. And if you've never received a massage while you're fasting before, please take my advice. And whenever you are called to do a fast, book a massage during that time, because there's something special about not having any food digesting and just you're on God's operating table already when you're fasting. When you're water fasting, you're on God's operating table. When you're on a massage table on top of that, it's beyond belief. It's beyond belief. And because you can just feel everything, but it's not like I'm so sensitive that she can't do, deep work on me. I still get the deep work done. But it's just, I feel everything. It's just the sensations are just so amazing. Just the air coming onto my skin is amazing.
Would you say that there is a connection between being fed, representing love, and being touched when you're not eating to represent that love?
I would think so, because actually that brings something up for me. As when I was young, I wasn't breastfed. My mom raised me alone. She had to work. So growing up, I didn't get almost any physical contact. It was very, very minimal physical contact growing up. And it really did affect me. Actually, one of my ayahuasca experiences brought this up for me, that from starting in the womb, I thought that I wasn't supposed to be here. And then after I came out and then experienced situations where my birth parents weren't around much. I was, in school and babysat and all that stuff, and didn't get the physical contact. And so I turned to food. And that was my because food never says no.
So that was your comfort.
And I would eat and eat.
How much did you weigh?
By the time I was 16, I was 220 pounds, pre-diabetic.
How tall are you?
5'9".
5'9". Wow.
I was 5'9". And now I'm about 145. So I lost almost 100 pounds since then.
Congratulations. You got your real body back.
And but so yes, to answer your question, food can definitely be, and I've been addicted to my whole life. But that's why I'm where I am today, though, is because I went through such density. I knew what it felt like or not felt to eat an entire large pepperoni pizza to myself. Yeah. And watch TV and still could eat.
Yeah, well, that's how much you were suppressed. Because the food had to help you to either to shove it straight further down or ignore it. Would you say during the 4 days that, were you in contact with anybody to get some kind of mutual support if you needed it?
I mean, I was working, doing sessions at the spa I work at, and
so you were connected to people.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason I ask you this, Kombucha, is because there's a lot of people that are new to fasting, and they might have some anxiety about, saying goodbye to food for a few days. And so this is an inspiration to them. For people to go, listen, he decided to do it, and he was committed and fully involved with it, had a fire to do it. And look at him. He's great. Go ahead. Go ahead and add something to that.
Yeah. And urine fasting is, it's so much easier, in my opinion, than I've done a 30-day juice fast. I've done 56 days where I've done lots of teas and different things. And urine fasting, I would say, is the easiest. I could not imagine fasting unless I was any sort of liquid fasting without urine, without at least incorporating urine into it. Actually, I'm gonna fill my glass. I'll be right back.
Okay, so you guys who are experienced fasters and you haven't yet added urine therapy fasting to your regimen, I highly recommend it. Every time I've done a urine fast, the day goes by quickly, the energy's there, the work is done, and somewhere around 5 or 6 in the afternoon, it dawns on me I wasn't even interested in food. I didn't crave food. I didn't think about food. I probably walked by the cupboard and the refrigerator umpteen times throughout the day, and it's lovely to be uninhibited and not even thinking about that anymore. So welcome to Liberation from Food Slavery with our new fast buddy, Kombucha Klark. Welcome back.
Cheers.
Cheers. Now, for you guys that are really into the big evolving or aged Oren part of this journey, because it is a powerful water, no doubt about it, but nothing beats the fresh nectar of the collected water. I don't care what time of day it is. When you got the food balance or non-food balance down, particularly if you're doing like all fruit, you look forward to your next drink. It's yummy.
Oh, and when you fast, the more you loop it, the better it tastes. So 4 days into a liquid fast, 3 days into a urine fast, the
water looks great.
I don't want to drink anything else. Like, seriously, it's thebomb.com. Like, there's nothing more hydrating. I mean, I intermittent fast on it every day. When I go to yoga in the morning, all I drink is, I'll usually do a urine enema, and that'll hydrate me. And then I'll drink a little urine. I'll go to a hot power vinyasa yoga class, sweat it out, and then drink more urine. And I just feel so good. It's the perfect hydration. And
Gatorade, eat your heart out.
And yeah, if you're on a raw food diet, your urine always tastes good. I have vegan friends who I've gotten into urine therapy, and when they've told me, because they'll go, like, I had one who was completely raw, but then he went to Hawaii, and he said he went to a vegan restaurant in Hawaii and had some cooked food, and he called me. He's like, after I ate this cooked vegan food at this restaurant, my urine tastes like shit. I can barely drink it. I'm like, I guess that's how it is. So, like, I highly recommend
some raw vegans actually, when they're making their salad dressing, put in sea salt, put in Himalayan crystal salt. And that's not the idea. That's not the balance you're aiming for. So just keep it simple. I'm basically using lemon juice and maybe some cayenne and garlic powder. That's it. Don't amp out your food. So what else can we tell the people?
When you're fasting, keeping a clean colon is the easiest way to fast, because as the toxins come through the colon, you're gonna feel something down there, and it's very easy to think that you're hungry, and it's very, very easy to think that you're hungry. And I love enemas. I absolutely love enemas. Urine enemas have changed my life completely. 5 years ago, I was doing and one distilled water enema a week. And I didn't like doing them. I didn't enjoy them. Sometimes I would add wheatgrass. Sometimes I would add, maybe some algae or something. And I would put my head on the floor and I would just be like, okay, this is out of self-love. I don't, whatever. I'm just going to do it. And I like the results. I love the results. Shit would come out of me that stunk up the bathroom. Mm-hmm. Then somebody made a YouTube video talking about urine enemas. And I was like, and I was like, okay, I'll try this. I was already drinking it. So I figured I'd try it. I filled up the enema bag. I did it. And the most horrific black, like the whole toilet bowl was full of black, gross, nasty shit. I mean, and I'd already been raw vegan for a year. So it was disgusting. And then, so of course I did it the next day. Same thing happened, did it the next day. And so I've been doing urine enemas every day for the past 6 years. It's
unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's very, very powerful. So guys, get your enema kit and don't be shy. You know where it goes. Fill it up with, what you're supposed to fill it up with. And let's get you healthy, because one way we discovered on these Oren enemas is that the gut health is responsible for mental health. People who have Alzheimer's, dementia, senility, people who are suicidal, people who have depression, and even the kids that have autism, it's because of the toxic overload in the gut is why all the toxins are pouring up the bloodstream to the brain, and these guys are being labeled with these illnesses. And if you get their gut cleaned out, watch the brain reset and get better.
Oh yeah. I think so much more clearly when I have a clean colon. It's and what happens is once you clean the colon out, with a regular distilled water enema, you're just gonna have clean water coming out. But when you do the urine, what I've found is that it somehow gets deeper and deeper and deeper. I think it goes like because the water it can go through the walls of the colon. That's my belief. I think it's getting into all my other, like my liver, my kidneys, like my gallbladder. It's getting all in there. And
system wide.
If you're, and I have some enema tips. If you're already doing enemas, this is a little more advanced, but what I do is I lay on my right side, and the colon. So the colon,
sending colon,
goes to the right, up, left, down. So I lay on my right side, so the water comes in here, and the liver's on the right side, so it can seep into the liver
and gallbladder,
and then I get upside down. I get inverted against the wall, and then the water comes up here. Mm-hmm. And then I get onto I come down onto my left side. So the water goes this way. Mm-hmm. And then I stand up and the water comes down here.
By the spleen. Oh.
Yeah. And then what I do is I have a rebounder over here, and I go and I jump on the rebounder, and then I have an inversion table, and I get on the inversion table, and then I'll do some, and I'll be doing abdominal massages this whole time. And then if I can. And
you're still holding the water this whole time?
Yes, the whole time.
Are you viewers getting this? This is like super strength. This is amazing.
Mm-hmm. And then I'll just move around. And then if I still can hold it in longer than that, usually about that time, I'm almost ready to release, but I just hold it in as long as I can, and I move, and I just keep moving around doing different things, and then when it's time, I'll hike it over to my throne, and release.
Let it rip. Yeah.
And it's just every day. I mean, I'm shocked after all this time and all this fasting and everything, what's still coming out. It's
so it would be safe to say you're impressed.
I am impressed. I'm impressed with what's still coming out.
Wonderful. So Oren fasting is the bomb. Those that want to know what the heck kombucha is talking about, the only way to find out, get it in the enema bag, get to work.
Yes. And if you're doing a urine fast, so this has helped me the past 3 days, actually, at least once a day, where I feel like, oh, I'm hungry. I should eat. And I'm like, I need the strength. And like in my mind, it's going like, you need the strength for what you're about to do, yada, yada, yada. And like, so I'm like looking at different things in the fridge, and I'm like, oh, it'd be okay if I just stay, it's been long enough. I have 48 hours. But then I just fill up a glass, 32 ounces, knock back 32 ounces. For about 15 minutes, I still feel it in my stomach. Then bowel movement happens.
I was going to say that. I would do an entire quart earliest I could in the morning and have 3 to 5 rapid waves of bowel movements in a row.
Yes.
Incredible. That's the whole GI cleanse without having to go up the bum from top down.
Some people do this saltwater cleansing, saltwater flushes, where they chug back salt water. It tastes like crap.
Yeah.
Chug back your urine. If you're eating clean, it's going to taste good, and you'll get a better result. Hands down. Would you say that Oren fasting was more potent than dry fasting? And is there a difference of the two? Yes. I've done my longest dry fast is 3 days. And I would say dry fasting is for the mind.
Mm-hmm.
Urine fasting is for the body. I mean, it's good for the mind too. Don't get me wrong, but okay. When I spent three days dry fasting and meditating, if my body could keep up with my mind, I would be doing cartwheels around the universe.
Yeah.
But I don't get the detox I do then when I'm urine fasting. And when I'm urine fasting, I'm just like flushing out all sorts of old crap.
Do you feel like you push yourself, or you give yourself space if you need to take a rest? How do you pace yourself during the day when you're fasting?
Oh, I just listen to my body. Yeah.
Excellent. So here's the next question. How do you plan, and what advice would you give to viewers of this show today to break a fast? Because I know you've got to prepare 3 days ahead and lighten up your diet. And I'd like you to explain all of that too. How did you prepare for the fast, and how you suggest breaking the fast?
So for me, I'm already raw vegan, so I can easily go in and out of fasting. But I highly recommend, if you're eating cooked food, or like to start with salads, for a few days, go down to some raw living foods, salads, fruits, juices, then get on just liquids for at least a day. You can do juices, and you can be doing urine this whole time, of course. But just to ease into it, go on to raw foods, then get it down to, cut, if you're doing 3 meals, cut it back to 2 meals, cut it back to 1 meal, and then go into a liquid day or 2, and then you can just go in, and then you'll easily transition into a urine fast. And then you just do urine for however long. You could do it a week, however long you want to do it. And then when you come out of it, come out the exact same way you came in. So do a day, a day or two on juice, or
fruit.
Break it with maybe some fruit, or some just something really easy on the digestive system, and then go back into the salads, and then you can slowly start reintroducing whatever else it is that is in your diet.
Yeah. Or if you get a calling, you just stay at fruit. our
Yes.
stay at fruit and greens.
Highly recommended. Highly recommended.
So do I.
And once you clean out the parasites, you won't have those cravings anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So like and urine fasting helps so much with that. So urine fasting and urine enemas help a lot.
They go together.
Yeah. I mean, I even to this last night and this morning, I've had some things that were swimming in my stools.
And they didn't wink at you.
And I've had over this journey, a whole journey, I've had tens of thousands of living species and dead species coming out of me.
Yeah, who would have known? Who would have known? I've been a raw foodist for many, many decades, and I got into Oren therapy, started doing enemas, and started doing cleanses, and just when I hit the right combination, plaque came out, fecal matter came out, gallstones came out of me, and it never ceased to amaze me. Even though I've ate a clean diet, that doesn't mean I cleaned out the stuff that's in the deeper areas of your intestines, like the small intestines, from a lifetime prior to doing raw foods of eating the other way. And I would say that even to the guys that are moving into raw veganism, don't think just because you're eating raw veganism now, until you do the deep cleanse and the deep dive, urine therapy is one of the most powerful things where you really know what true health is.
Yeah. And what happens is you start to reverse and you start to age in reverse. I used to have big bags under my eyes. I used to have a big bald spot up here. It's like the whole everything. I just keep getting younger in the mirror. I mean, I looked, at least 10 years older than I look now, 7 years ago.
So ladies, you pay attention.
I was aging.
Yes, you were aging. And then?
I was aging rapidly in one direction, and now I'm aging rapidly in the other direction.
All right. So I want you ladies who's watching this right now to pay attention, because if you want your man to look healthy and young and vibrant and sexy, you get him on this protocols and this lifestyle as soon as you can.
So some other fun protocols, Neti Pot.
Yes.
Definitely recommend. I used to hate Neti Pots when I was doing it with distilled water or spring water. I love them with the urine, fresh urine, body temperature, put it through the nose both ways.
Mm-hmm.
You can drink it. You can hold one nostril, put it, and you can drink it down the throat this way. It's the best ever. And then when you're fasting, it always comes down to the breath. So we only have so much room in our diaphragm, and our lungs take up a lot of room. Our stomach takes up a lot of room. So they're basically competing. If you eat so much food, you can barely breathe.
That's right.
And if you're empty, you can breathe. And so if you really fill yourself up with breath, the stomach doesn't feel hungry. It doesn't need, you're full. Mm-hmm. And so this is what I've learned through all these years. And it just comes back to the breath. And so like deep inhales, holding it, deep exhales, holding out. Holding out is like fasting from air, which is also amazing, because when you finally breathe in, every cell of your body just sucks in that oxygen and sucks in everything from the air. And it's just, there's something about it. There's something about fasting from air, just like fasting from water. You can't do it as long, but no one's proved that yet. That might just be a program, but you can't fast from air as long as you can fast from food.
It might be. So you guys out there that are considering a fast, we highly encourage you to consider the Oren or Shivambu fast, because it's superior than any other fast. You don't come out of a dry fasted state when you're fasting with Oren, and you have the strength to go all day, whether you eat or not, which is wonderful. By the way, I'm going to give out a little secret. I learned this a few years back, that when you get a hunger pain, it's not really hunger. what you're feeling a lot of time is that down in the sigmoid or at the ileocecal valve, there's contraction and expansion going on. It's trying to move things through the bowels, but our mind interprets it as hunger. So how I broke that was just to simply eat one date and a banana, and the hunger went away. So you can train yourself to override that.
Yeah, and it's so. I'm glad you brought this up. It's such a mental game. Because I could go days or weeks without eating solid food, but when I get something in my mind, I'm like, hummus is one of my favorite foods, and I start thinking about that hummus, right?
You're fixed on it.
and then I start convincing myself that I need it for some reason. Like I'm about to go do some work. I'm about to go like chop wood, and like I got to get that energy. And then it's like, and then my whole body just primes for it. And then my stomach is just like growling for it, and it's all in the mind. But that's why I keep myself busy. Cause it's like, if I can keep myself busy and I just keep doing stuff and I just keep like going through my to-do list. Oh, my house is clean now. Oh, this is and then it's just like, when I don't let myself think about the food, and I don't put myself in environments where people around me are eating, that can trigger it too. People around me are eating, and then all of a sudden I feel hungry. I didn't feel hungry 5 minutes ago.
Well, it takes some discipline because I share a house with two of my friends. One is my student, and they're both big foodies. They'll spend a lot of time in the kitchen, a lot of time preparing food, a lot of time eating the food. And what really shocks me is they eat at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. Hello. And so I walk in and out of there eating a banana. I walk in and eating out with a handful of grapes, and it doesn't faze me anymore.
Good. Yeah.
So it's mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. You get to that point. I was actually really proud of myself. When was it? My first day on the liquids, I found myself at a vegan restaurant with some friends, and I just didn't order anything. I had my homemade kombucha with me, and because I wasn't into urine yet, it was my first day, and I was just drinking my kombucha. Everybody else was ordering, weird,
their food,
gourmet vegan food.
Yeah. It can be done, and there's alternatives to everything. Had a lovely talk with somebody about 2 hours ago. We were talking about, well, how is urine therapy playing out on the big screen of life? How is it reaching people? Is it going to reach people? I said, let me think about this. We figured out there's 50 countries with over 1 billion people that are practicing this right now. I think we're hitting a critical mass, or we've already hit the tipping point by now. It's just and people's eyes are wide open because they've seen how much lies have been given to us and fed to us, from medicine to science to religion to education. So it's not that big a stretch for people to go, oh, they lied about urine. I'll look into it. So it's a perfect time to get this message out.
Yeah. How long? Because it's been at least a few generations, because our parents didn't know, our grandparents didn't know. Like, how many generations do you think go back of this lie has been?
1917 is when the Rockefeller Foundation was established to control the healthcare industry worldwide. And at that time, that pivotal moment, they decided to try to get rid of all their competition, which meant alternative healers, facilitators, spiritual teachers, and But what they could not suppress was the spirit and the drive of the people. That's why it's even more known than ever. But that's when it started. They started demonizing it.
1917. Yeah, so that's for
105 years.
300 years. What?
105 years.
105 years, yeah.
No, wait. 200? What'd you come up with?
You said 1917?
1917.
And it's 2020.
2022.
Yeah.
You're off on both counts. We'll give it about 117, 105 years.
Okay.
No, 115 years.
Well, it must be more than that, because our grandparents would have known about that then. Should have known. I mean, it must have been suppressed before then.
The people who know about it, who've always known about it, were the indigenous tribes and people, right? This is how we figured out there were so many in the world, because these guys kept the traditions and the teachings alive, but a lot of them never wrote it in books. They never documented this practice. But when we dig into the Maoris in New Zealand, we find it. We dig into the Native Americans in the United States, we find it. When we dig into the cultures in Africa and all different countries, we find it prevalent a lot of places.
Yeah. Yeah. And in India, it's legal. They have like doctors just,
clinics.
Yeah.
They have clinics all over the place. By the way, Dr. Bumi Samola, shout out to Dr. Bumi Samola. He's in Africa, and his mom healed him when he was 10 years old with her urine. For those people don't still think it's wrong to change genders with your urine. It's universal panacea, so get over it. So she healed him, and 25 years later, he's not only become a urine therapy teacher in Nigeria, he's building a clinic on his property.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah. That's amazing. I hope more and more people will hear that message.
Yeah.
So anything else you'd like to let our viewers know about urine fasting? And there are people who've done this for 30 days and 45 days. And he's doing you're doing a 72 hour?
I don't know when I'm going to break it yet. I don't, I try not to, when I do fasts, I try not to like put too much pressure on how long. I just go typically day by day. Sometimes I'll have like a short, I was just going to do like 2 days. Now it's 3 days. I don't know how much, how long I'm going to do it. So yeah.
We'll leave it up to the fates. We'll leave it up to your creator.
Yeah. And, okay. So not to get religious or anything, but in the Bible, fasting and prayer is listed 77 times in the same sentence. So like this goes back to manifesting so much easier and better when I'm fasting. And so I like to do affirmations and different things, and it's just and then also
give us an example. Give us an example of an affirmation you use.
I am having the best day ever. I am experiencing the best schedule ever. I am. I have.
Okay, here's one for you. My body.
Books of affirmations.
Thank you. My body is performing at its optimum, whether I eat or not.
I love it.
So these things are doable. You guys see Kombucha Klark. He's a prime example of achieving radiant health. I've seen him over the last couple of years. He does what I call reclaiming your body and reclaiming your mind. Then everything is in sync with your spirit, with your nature, with your way of being. And watch how miracles and grace will flow to you more and more.
Yes. Oh, some storing tips. So what I've come to is I use 1/2 gallon wide mouth mason jars, and I put a cheesecloth over it with a rubber band so it can breathe, but bugs can't get in. And then what I do is I take that and I put that in the window seal, so it gets the sun and gets the moon cycles, and it's getting all that information. I find that is my optimal way, especially for flavor, because if I seal it in a jar, what I find is it gets an astringent, feeling quality to it, and I don't, after like 3 days in a sealed jar, I don't want to really drink it. But if I leave it out like that, it has a much it stays a lot smoother, a lot longer. And then after about maybe 10 days or so, I find that it's harder to drink, and I typically like to use that more externally. But if I do it that way with a cheesecloth, in a wide mouth mason jar in the window, That's for about 10 days. It's really, really good water to drink.
I would also like to suggest, if you cannot get your hands on a cheesecloth, here's some options for you. A sprouting bag made out of hemp or flax, hemp or flax sprout bags. You can use a nylon stocking if that's all you can find. You can use a coffee filter. You can use a couple layers of paper towel. Use your imagination.
Yeah. Also, just wanted to, I know Brother Sage has talked about this, I think on a video or two, but a nasal spray, one of the most powerful protocols that I found, especially when I first started using it. I just did some fresh urine up the nose. I had so much mucus coming out of my head. I don't even know how all that mucus fit in my brain, but I just had, it just kept coming out for days. And so now I do it about once a week. Also, there's stem cells in the urine. This gets them directly to the pineal gland. And
the sinuses, the sinus cavities.
Yeah. When I was younger, I would do cocaine. Now I snort urine up my nose. I mean, now
see how it's how we evolve. By the way, I highly recommend carrying that with you in your hip pack, backpack, purse, or glove compartment of your car. Any time of the day, when your mind gets sluggish, you can't track with people, you're not quite present, or your energy's dipping, a couple of snorts in each nose, you're going to come back. It happens every time. This is why I keep it in my backpack now.
Yes. And another one.
Syringe.
This is an ear syringe. It's designed to clean out the ear. It's designed so you put it this way and you can clean out your ear. And some people who have hearing problems, I've read reviews and seen pictures of stuff that's come out of the ears just using whatever water that they were using. So I got this to do an experiment years ago, and I use it after I clean out the ear. I use it this way. I fill it. It holds about 2 ounces of urine.
Or that 20 milliliters? Yeah.
Something like that.
Either 20 or 30 milliliters.
20 milliliters, yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll hold it this way,
and
I'll hold my ear open and slowly, and I just breathe. I usually hold my breath and just really slowly push it in as slow as I can, and a little will drip out, but most of it gets in there, and I'll feel it going into my brain and dripping down this way. And I'll do it on the other side, dripping down this way. And I'll tell you, anytime I want to really increase like my reaction speed, this increases my reaction speed and how quickly I think.
Doesn't feel weird. It doesn't feel weird going inside your brain and going around there.
Yeah, it's different.
It's
different. But
well, it's the same with people. There's people who snort it up there with their palm of their hand. They got used to it. I got used to it.
Yeah. And it's worth it. I mean, I did this last night, and then I was in yoga this morning, and I was like in every single pose before the entire class. We had like about 16 or 17 people in there. I was just in like, they were like warrior one, and I was just in the pose. Everybody else is catching up, you know?
Yeah. Well, you're the advanced student making headway. Wonderful. So let's come to a close here, and I would like you to leave the viewers with any advice you have about taking on an Oren fast.
Go into it with confidence. Listen to your body. If you get hungry, just chug 32 ounces of urine. Wait about 15 minutes. Have a bowel movement. You won't be hungry anymore. Keep your colon clean. Do as much cleansing as you can with the colon before, during, and after. Staying in the water element too. Staying in the water element. So I've taken 1, 2, 3, 4 showers already. I'll probably take another one before I go to bed. I went swimming. After yoga before work, I went swimming. just getting into water. Yesterday I went to the beach and took, I don't know how many showers, at least 4. So yeah, just when you stay, if I feel hungry and I take a shower, if I get in the water, so when I get out, a lot of times I'm not hungry anymore. Sometimes I just want liquid, or I might just want to have a tea or something like that. Instead of eating. It's kind of interesting just staying in that water element.
It looks like from enough time doing Oren and Oren fasting, your priorities come back online and your priorities change. So the things that used to be your go-to for a lot of people was food or sex or drugs or the internet or whatever it was, it doesn't attract you. It's an amazing to be in that place where it doesn't run you.
Yeah. When you're fasting, you don't really think about sex. It's amazing for a man not to think about sex.
Yeah, or a woman. Yeah,
right.
Beautiful. So, are you open to anybody being able to reach out to you? Are you listed in the Water Family Directory?
Let's get me in there, please. And if anybody would like to reach me, Brother Sage does have all my contact. I give you full permission to give out anybody who reaches out to you, my phone number, email address, Facebook, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and if you want to send it to me, I'll put it in the description of the video once this is published.
Okay.
All right, well, much love to you, brother.
Much love. Always, thank you very much.
Let's get a retreat going on in Florida.
Yes.
I know that state's ready for it.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Namaste and blessings to you.
Namaste. Have the best day ever.
You too, brother.